I think it's time we tell them about the Upton House. Well, hello there, Parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
In this episode, we're going to tell you the history behind that house right across the street there, the Upton House in Warren, Ohio. But before we get into that, if you're into the paranormal, history, and forensic type videos,
don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ding that little bell so you hear from us next time we post a new video.
The Upton House. We've used this location for one of our events that we put on.
Multiple times.
So we probably talked about that in our live streams and things like that, and we'll be telling you about it in the last of this series when we talk about our experiences here. But for now, it's time that you find out the history of the Upton House. So Marianne, take it away.
The Upton House is one of the oldest surviving houses on Mahoning Avenue in Warren, Ohio. The house is named for an important figure in the women's suffrage movement who lived there and used the house as the national headquarters for the National American Women's Suffrage Association. It is located in downtown Warren on property known as part of Lot 2 in Perkins' first addition to the city of Warren, which is on the northeast side of Mahoning Avenue near the municipal offices. It is part of the area which is designated as the Mahoning Avenue Historic District by the National Register of Historic Places, or what is known locally as Millionaire's Row. The Upton House was built by General Simon Perkins for his son Henry, beginning in 1837, and, according to records, was completed by 1840 in the Egyptian Revival style, though he reportedly did not move in until 1850. Today, it is a 2.5-story wood frame structure on a stone foundation with a hip roof, clapboard exterior, and a single-story porch across the front at a recess, and it is also having an open balustrade veranda in the front, and was at some point given a Greek Revival makeover. The front porch and entrance are accessed by 5 stone steps. Also, both a 2-story addition and a 1.5-story addition are attached in sequence to the rear of the main house, producing a single file of interior rooms from front to back. There is also a rear porch on the wing additions, which have thin supporting posts with jigsaw ornamentation, and doors to the main house overlook a floral garden. The interior of the building has been restored to a turn-of-the-century appearance. The original building has been added onto on 3 different occasions throughout its history. The original section is the 2.5-story central section of the house and is 3 bays wide. It had windows in the 6/6 design with louvered shutters and simple lintels. The front door was paneled wood with 4 Bohemian glass transoms and side lights, and the house had a dentiled cornice at the roofline. Henry Perkins is believed to be responsible for the addition of the 1-story library wing and the first back-end addition, which was a 2-story addition. Henry Perkins sold the house to Congressman Ezra B. Taylor, with Taylor family taking possession of the house in 1883. A front porch was installed by Ezra Taylor. The porch is 1 story and extends the length of the central section of the house. The porch is supported by round columns that end on brick bases and are connected with a white balustrade. In 1887, Congressman Taylor deeded the house to Harriet Taylor Upton, his daughter, for love and affection. The Upton House became the temporary center of the National American Women's Suffrage Association between 1903 and 1905. This was during Upton's term as treasurer of the National Women's Suffrage Association, and when the organization's headquarters were moved to Warren, Ohio, by the request of Mrs. Upton herself. It was moved to the Trumbull County Courthouse in 1905 and then back to New York in 1909. Many celebrities visited the house during the time that Upton owned it. While she was living in the house, 5 of our U.S. presidents dined there with her: Garfield, Cleveland, Hayes, Harrison, and McKinley. Also said to have visited is Susan B. Anthony and Thomas Edison. In 1931, at the age of 76, Mrs. Upton lost the house in a sheriff's sale, as during the Great Depression, Upton lost her money and could no longer afford it. She ended up moving to California with a relative. After Mrs. Upton lost control of the house, it was modernized during the mid-1930s, including construction of the rear garage wing. This wing is 1.5 stories. It is front gabled, and it extends from the rear of the house and contains a garage with a room above it. The garage is set up with 2 one-car garage doors. The Upton House served as a community center in 1945. In 1952, the house was converted into 5 apartments by dividing the large family dining room in half to serve as a bedroom and a kitchen, and adding bathrooms and kitchens for each of the 5 units. All but 3 of the original fireplaces were removed and sealed in the process. In 1989, the Upton House was in danger of possible demolition, and because of its prominence with the national suffrage movement, the Upton Association took over the property. They began renovations with the help of a preservationist to return it to its earlier layout of when Upton was living there. The restoration included turning the apartment units in the house back into the house of the Upton time period. These restorations included work in the bedrooms, dining room, where a wall was removed, transforming it back to the original sized room, in the parlor, the foyer, the library, including the removal of the kitchen area and closet for one of the efficiency apartments that was located in the foyer and library, restoration of the Upton kitchen, and replacing missing pieces of the original molding and woodwork. The exterior of the house was also painted in its original gray with green shutters, and the front porch was restored based on historic photographs. The main part of the house was furnished with period antiques and furnishings that were mostly provided through donations. The Upton House achieved both National Historic Landmark status and National Historic Location status on October 5th of 1992. In October of 2011, after receiving permission from Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mary Thornton House, Harriet's ashes were brought from California, where she died, to Ohio and were reinterred in the garden behind her house during a special memorial ceremony. Judge House was present at the memorial service. Here, ashes were placed in a vault along with one of her books that she had written, a pamphlet from the reinterment ceremony, and the minutes from the last board meeting of the Upton Association. In 2015, wrought iron railings were installed on the front porch steps that were from the entrance of the local Trumbull Memorial Hospital's nurses' home since the 1920s. No modifications were necessary to the stairs to make them fit. In 2019, the front porch floorboards were replaced. Today, the Upton House can be rented for a variety of events and small gatherings. It has tours in the summer months, as well as private tours for schools and other groups, and houses a suffrage movement collection, as well as 2 furnishings that belong to Harriet Taylor Upton herself, a large mirror that's in the parlor, and a chase lounge that's upstairs in the Suffrage Museum area.
there you go, guys. The history of the Upton House. Now, this series will not have a Boris video, not a ghost stories and folklore. Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit in our experiences. In this series, we're going to do a dedication video
To Harriet Taylor Upton.
I was going to let her talk a little bit.
Oh, were you? Is that why you had that slow-mo thing there going on? I thought you just forgot.
So the next video in this series, Mary Ann's going to talk about Harriet and the Upton House, the women's suffrage movement, all that stuff. So it's going to be a dedication video.
All right.
Anything else?
Well, that's good.
Until next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting. Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting!